Is protein powder generally, or whey protein specifically, really worth the hype? Do you even need protein powder in your diet? Maybe soy or casein protein? What should you pick? I have thought through this decision countless times. In all reality, having whole foods are probably your best bet and should be top priority. But in this video, I will cover the benefits of whey protein and why I consider it a high quality option. Later in this video, I will cover protein by cost, different types of protein, break down different forms of whey protein, how leucine specifically plays a crucial role, and other amino acid profiles and contributions to protein quality. Stick around to the end to see what protein choice is the gold standard. I want you to make the best choice for your lifestyle and to increase muscle as well as overall health by looking at the facts. You've probably heard at some point that you're just peeing out your supplements and they're a waste of money. I don't want you to waste your money, and as someone who has tried many, I can show you what I would recommend, having wasted my fair share of money on useless products. However, I don't believe protein is one of them. I drink whey protein daily and will show you how it is not just another supplement. While whey protein is not fully a whole food, it is also not wholly a traditional supplement as it's derived from cow's milk. I don't really view it as a traditional supplement overall. Now, I understand these are economically challenging times and we feel inflation every direction that we turn. You feel it in your wallet and with lack of discretionary income. From an economic perspective, if you're cost conscious, whey protein can be a cost-effective option compared to other protein sources. Many times, meat can be expensive, so if you're trying to keep your protein high at a gram per pound of body weight, protein powder can leave less of a dent in your wallet. Chicken, beef, eggs, and milk might just cost you more depending on where you shop and the ratio per grams of protein they provide. When we're coming off years of high inflation, you really want to see what gives you the most bang for your buck with protein to hit your goals. Do the math on the protein container and you will often see the servings provided actually make it a pretty good cost for your protein goal. Please let us know if this content is applicable to you and what other topics you'd like to hear more on. Please subscribe and turn on notifications. It helps us so much. Speaking from personal experience, I have taken protein for 20 years and it has a macronutrient profile, so I truly view it as a food. This is my reasoning as it is part of milk filtered to powder form. A little later on, we'll cover when and how you should take your protein throughout the day. As you know, there are many different forms of protein powder and not all are created equal. To start, if you're looking at milk protein, it can be broken down into two parts called casein and whey. Most people have heard of whey protein as it is probably the most popular protein in the health and fitness space. There are three different types of whey called concentrate, isolate, and hydrolysate, basically describing how filtered they are. I won't go into much detail here other than saying whey concentrate is probably the most common, has the most milk sugars included. Hydrolysate is the most filtered and most expensive. More details on pros and cons on this later. Before diving into the nitty-gritty, I would like to clarify that the most important part about protein powder is that your overall protein needs are met to recover from workouts and keep lean muscle. Whether you take protein powder daily, twice a day, or less, it can be part of a healthy diet and help to hit protein goals. I would always recommend around a gram per pound of body weight of protein a day of your desired weight to promote muscle synthesis. In my other video on ideal protein, you will see there are many benefits at up to 1.3 or 1.4 grams per pound of body weight. Either way, if you even fall a little short, just try to stay near this amount. It's not as easy as you would think to get this much protein even with concentrated effort. That's why in these inflation times, it might be in your best interest to integrate protein powder into your nutrition. Diving into whey protein powder, we can look at leucine, which is highest in whey protein compared to other protein powders. Leucine is the most anabolic part of the amino acids that contribute to muscle growth. I would recommend roughly at least 30 grams of protein at a time to signal this anabolic threshold of leucine to stimulate muscle protein synthesis through the mTOR pathway. But before looking into that, you will find proponents of soy protein and casein protein stating their case, and these are good options. Many will compare their benefits to whey, and they may have a good point since they have their place. To help lend clarity, I look at some research comparing whey, casein, and soy to check out the facts. I picked this one study because they didn't just look at protein, but at available amino acids. Basically, how much is available of certain amino acids and what your body can actually use. Whey protein ended up increasing amino acid content the most by far when comparing equal proportions. The study went further and looked at a rest group and post-exercise group. The interesting thing they found was even at rest, whey protein increased muscle protein synthesis 93% more than casein protein. Also at rest, whey protein increased muscle protein synthesis 18% more than SOY protein. So, what's really going on here? First, let's look at the post-exercise results prior to jumping to a conclusion. After exercise, whey protein synthesis increases muscle protein synthesis by over 122%. After exercise, it increased muscle protein synthesis 31% more than SOY. The numbers seem to speak for themselves, and we could just leave it here, but let's understand why this is happening. Rate of absorption matters with protein. How we absorb whey protein is faster than how we absorb casein. This is not breaking news, but good to cover. That makes sense as to why there would be such a large gap. Casein has been known forever as the before bed protein. It distributes and releases protein over a long period of time. Do you think this makes it less beneficial or just different? Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. Now, proponents of soy protein will tell you it's equally as good as whey. If the essential amino acids are the same, it's a complete protein, isn't soy just as good? Well, they have a point. It probably has more to do with the amount of leucine available than all other aminos. We would have to look at other studies for more support here. I've included one in the description below if you're interested. This study in the Journal of Nutrition looked at branched-chain amino acids and leucine specifically. What they found is that leucine causes mTOR to spike. mTOR is involved in many functions of your cells. It also helps with something and activating something called P70S6K. You really want this activating, especially post-workout. You want this not only after workouts, but throughout the day to build muscle and also to recover. Something important to understand with recovery is insulin. You want appropriate insulin spikes throughout the day. Proper insulin spikes are needed. This could be done through fruit or honey, not just spiking it with processed junk food, which is a whole nother issue. Now, if you're wondering where I'm going with this, whey protein can trigger a big insulin spike with leucine in it. Because of the high leucine, this will happen at a much greater rate than soy and casein. You will see that this is very important for your periodic spikes and muscle building overall. If you're into a heavy muscle building period, it can be beneficial to have multiple whey protein shakes throughout the day in addition to your whole foods you consume to give you these needed kind of mini jolts. Now, I'm not trying to tell you this to add more supplements or spend more money, but instead simply for the leucine spike that it will give and processes its signals in your body. This helps trigger muscle protein synthesis. Going back to the earlier point in the video on types of whey, when distinguishing between whey concentrate and isolate, isolate is cleaner, is going to give you a bigger spike. Whey concentrate has the milk solids in it. Concentrate will not give as big of a spike, but offers a fuller spectrum. The whey concentrate is a more bioavailable protein. So the conclusion is concentrate might be better over the long term, but isolate will give you a bigger spike or anabolic lift in the short term. So what's my suggestion? Use both. Rotate them out. Moving along to another component of whey protein is the EAAs, or essential amino acids. These are amino acids we can't get naturally. They have to come from food. You can literally get this as a supplement. This is different from BCAAs. There have been positive findings that if you add in these essential aminos with a protein meal, you can increase muscle protein synthesis, so having a shake with food. EAAs seem to reduce the lactate production, allowing you to work out harder and longer. There are initial promising returns that these essential aminos can help even when in a calorie deficit with preserving muscle. I hope to dive into some of this research more in depth in the future. As an added bonus, EAAs don't have calories, so this helps with weight loss as well if this is your goal while maintaining lean muscle mass. You can get them as a supplement on their own if needed. I would recommend sipping on EAAs throughout the day. They are cheap and easy to bring with you on the go. You can have them with your meals to increase the spike at a set time. If you only have one time or even a couple times when you're trying to eat or get maximum protein, don't you want to get the most you can to maximize muscle protein synthesis from that feeding window? With these benefits, I truly believe that whey protein is the top pick to help all fitness levels maintain muscle mass and lose weight. Whatever variety of whey you use, this really is the whey. This is because of the essential amino acids offered and the leucine spike to encourage muscle growth. However, if you do have allergies, soy protein could be an effective alternative. Just use and leverage whey protein to your benefit for proper insulin spikes. Then also maximize things by using essential amino acids as well to increase muscle growth. There's so many other things out there you can do and leverage, such as peptides, TRT. These are all things that can be helpful, but before you do so, there are less expensive ways you can try and experiment with, such as those talked about in this video, to increase muscle mass, starting with choosing the best protein for you. Experiment and see what works. These inexpensive and legal things such as essential amino acids and whey protein leveraged and timed can help increase benefits of more muscle with less cost to you. In my opinion, whey protein powder is the best protein option for most people. An effective way to hit your protein targets, stimulate muscle protein synthesis with its high leucine content, and a good first step to use before jumping to other options to increase muscle growth. Please consider subscribing with a protein-loving thumbs up to keep getting new fitness content weekly. As always, we try to bring practical fitness and health advice you can apply right away.